What's up, guys? Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the Mezco 112 Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Casey Jones figure. Now this is a long-awaited figure, and if you've been collecting Mezco's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, you finally have a side character to display with them. So this is pretty exciting, and it's a great character in general. So you get this really cool Casey Jones picture, just that classic Mirage Comics art on the front here. You got the logos, you got that scary Mezco Exclusive logo, unfortunately, so this is sold out. You got the Nickelodeon logos, got some more pictures of Casey Jones on the sides, got those glowing eyes, very cool. Really cool image of him on the back, kind of just like doing that superhero landing or like getting ready to. Very classic Mirage Comics artwork. Really cool Casey Jones logo on there. You get another cool picture of him on the top. And then some of the credits and UPC on the bottom. So very excited for this figure. Let's go ahead and get the box open, and we'll start by taking a look at the head sculpts that come with Casey. Now when you open this up, the unmasked head is on the body, but I'm going to go ahead and start this review with the what I would consider the clean hockey mask. And man, this looks fantastic. I think they've done a really good job with this. Now you can see the hair sticking out, which looks really good as well. I like the length of the hair, but I like how it's kind of puffed out in the top. So you can see that like brown strap for the hockey mask, but you can definitely see the hair around that. So it looks really good. And again, I do think the length of the hair is like perfect. I love like the nose on here. I think they did a really good job with the nose and the eyes. The eyes look fantastic. It has those bright white eyes with that black kind of shadow underneath of them and a little bit around them. And while I would consider this more like the clean hockey mask, there is some little like nicks to it. Now, unlike some other companies, they didn't like black line the different marks in the mask, at least not in this one. But you can still see some of like the nicks in it, so it's not like a perfect hockey mask. But you can also see like just the design to it, how it has like this line that's always on the Casey Jones mask, right in like, you know, the jaw or like cheek area. So I think they've done a really good job on that. Over to the right side of the hockey mask, again, you can see, you know, some different nicks and like just a little bit of damage. It's just not like lined with the black lines or anything. But again, just really good work all around. Just really like how the hair looks to go, you know, with that hockey mask. Just classic Casey Jones. Just fantastic job. And I really can't say enough about those eyes and just that brow, like right in the middle. You can see a couple little lines that kind of like bring out the eyes even more. So just fantastic. And then finally over to the back, again, you can see the length of the hair, which, yeah, I definitely think is perfect for this. Fantastic sculpting, the texture, and even the straps. You could just see a little bit of like, you know, almost looks like it's a real leather strap on the mask, but it's not. You can see like some of the stitching, which is really cool. So just really happy with this head sculpt overall. Now you do get two additional head sculpts with this, which is fantastic. The first one you get is a battle damaged hockey mask. Now this one you could definitely see the little nicks and, you know, marks in the mask are now like black line, but you also have this like, you know, almost shredder claws like scratched his mask or something, kind of have that damage going through. But then you also have the unmasked head sculpt, which in my opinion, this is the best unmasked Casey Jones head sculpt. I mean, it is really, really good. But let's go ahead and put on the battle damaged mask. Just like most Mezco figures, the head sculpts are pretty easy to interchange. You got that standard ball peg, and then you could just put that new head sculpt on there. Taking a closer look at the battle damage mask, again, you can see how much different this looks than the clean mask. But yeah, it almost looks like he got in a fight with like Freddy Krueger or Shredder or something. He's just got these crazy scratches going through the mask, and it kind of makes me think of Freddy vs. Jason. But yeah, same exact head sculpt pretty much. Nothing that different aside from that hockey mask being damaged. but I do think they've done a really good job with it. The right side of his mask in particular has the most damage, I would say, with the long scratches kind of going all the way from the forehead to the cheek. And then you can see a little bit of damage on that right eye, which looks really cool as well. Even the nose has a little bit of nicks on it. So just a really cool looking battle damaged mask. And again, the hair, pretty much the same. No real differences there. Alright, and then finally, here is the unmasked Casey Jones head sculpt. And yeah, man, these two head sculpts are just perfect. I mean, they are fantastic. Like, whoever sculpted this, the Casey Jones head sculpts did an amazing job. And honestly, this unmasked head sculpt is the best Casey Jones head sculpt that I've seen so far. Now, I will say I love the NECA Toys cartoon Casey Jones head sculpt, but that's kind of like not really anything that we remember from the comics or the cartoons, so it's kind of like an original idea. Whereas we really don't have like this really accurate Mirage Comics version of Casey, and this definitely is very accurate. Matter of fact, I was trying to figure out what this reminded me of, and there's actually this poster, and also it's a cover for one of the collected volumes, and it's basically done by A.C. Farley. So maybe I'll put that image in this review just so you can see what I'm talking about, but this looks exactly like that. And I say it because you rarely see him wearing the jean jacket in the comics. And you can see he's got a bit of a smirk, which is cool. It definitely goes along with his personality. But man, like, Mezco head sculpts can get a little soft sometimes, and man, not this one. I mean, this is just really good. And just taking a look at the left side of the face again, just really great head sculpt. And then finally, here's one last shot just of the back of his head. And you can see it doesn't have those straps from the hockey mask on it, so you can get a better shot of that hair. And man, just so good. Every time I see him from the back, like with this jean jacket and that hair, immediately I'm thinking Lobo. So Mezco, if you're watching this video, which you probably aren't, you gotta make a Lobo from the 90s. I mean, you guys could make the best Lobo probably ever. Taking a look at the torso here, it's kind of interesting because it is branded as more of an Eastman and Laird, Mirage Comics era, but realistically, it's been recolored in that IDW colors. So originally you had a red shirt, not this kind of like eggshell or like off-white. And even the pants were more of like gray jogging pants, and the shoes were white. So there are some variances here. And like I said with that A.C. Farley artwork, that was like 1990. He did like a poster image, and then he did TMNT volume collected image for the cover, and it was the same image. And it's very similar to this, where it has that jean jacket on, and it's definitely more of that lighter gray shirt. So a little bit of a combination of things, but I do think it works really well. And I love the vest. I think they've done a fantastic job with it. You can see some of the buttons showing up on here. The sleeves are obviously ripped off, so it's kind of a handmade vest. Pretty much what you normally see with Casey Jones. So I really do like the way it looks, and since it is fabric, you could just take it off if you don't like it. So it just looks awesome. You do have his signature fingerless gloves, which you usually see on Casey, and that's another thing where the colors have kind of changed on these a couple times, but for the most part they look about the same in every iteration, so I do like the way these look. Just going back to the vest again, I do like the way these sleeves are torn off. There was like a string or two kind of like, hanging there that I had to cut off, but nothing serious. But yeah, really cool looking design, awesome forearms on Casey. He's got that muscle tone going that we're often used to with Casey Jones. Here's a quick shot of the back of that vest. I really love this like little, tightening kind of system at the bottom where you usually see on these old Levi jackets, where you can kind of cinch it at the bottom just a little bit. I think they've done a really good job. I mean, just the stitch patterns. I mean, I have these vests, so I know what they look like, and this is exactly what they look like. So just amazing detail on such a small scale. And like I said, if you don't like the vest, you could definitely take that off. I would start by just kind of bringing the arms, all the way out. And you really don't have to take the gloves off or the hands off for this. It just slips off there pretty easily. Now that the vest is off, you have that more classic Casey Jones look, which is actually more of like what's on the box art here. So you have this kind of off-white shirt, kind of leans between a white and a gray. It probably was white, but then turned a different color. But it definitely looks more gray, which is really cool. And it's kind of like that half shirt, so you can kind of see his belly button a little bit. But I do like the way it looks. It kind of has like a thermal look, and you can see that he's kind of cut the bottom of the shirt and cut the sleeves off, pretty much what you'd expect for Casey. It doesn't have like that cut for like a V cut right by the neck. I do wish they would have kind of cut that, but I could see why they wouldn't, because it might have torn more over the years. But yeah, this is definitely more of that classic Casey Jones. Again, it is the IDW color scheme, so it's not going to be that red shirt that we might be used to. And here's the shirt from the back. Again, you can see where it's kind of ripped and torn and kind of customized to where he wants. In terms of the pants look, they do look pretty good. Pretty basic. Like I said, they're just kind of like jogging pants. You can see a little bit of like a thermal kind of design to them. I'm not sure how my cameras will pick this up. Sometimes it makes it look real weird. But overall, they do look pretty good. The shoes I don't love also. I mean, they just don't look like the Mirage shoes at all. They look more like hiking shoes or like some kind of Nikes or something. He definitely had more like those Reeboks with like the Velcro straps on the original. So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the shoes. I do like that there's peg holes in these. He stands okay for the most part. And then just one more quick shot of the back of the lower half of the body here. Alright, so taking a look at the articulation for Casey here, and we'll go ahead and leave the vest off for this one. The head sculpt moves pretty good. Get the whole 360 thing going. He can angle really well. But he does have that softer hair, which is nice, so it doesn't really hinder it too much. And it's the right length to where it's not going to get in the way a whole lot. He does get really good range, so you can go on that Superman pose or straight up and down. You can get great T-pose. I mean, more than a T-pose. Straight down with the arms. You do have the bicep articulation. Great double hinged elbow. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. Can turn at the waist and bend back. And again, you see that. Look at the abs here. Super cool here. So, yeah, you can angle the body pretty good. You can really bend at the waist. I mean, holy cow. Crazy jump. Like abs first. The jump slam. Do a crazy kick. Do a really good kick. You can rotate at the thigh. Double hinged knees. But yeah, really good articulation. Even with the jogging pants kind of help, honestly. Get about that much out with the split. Again, just really good knee articulation. You could rotate. You can rock a little bit, but you really can't get much up and down. The shoes were definitely a bit of a mistake in my opinion. But man, overall, whew, this is a really, really well articulated Casey Jones figure. I mean, damn, that's probably the most articulated Casey Jones figure I've ever seen, for sure. So, alright, so you do get a bunch of different hands with Casey Jones here. You do get the fisted hands on him, and that's what's on him inside of the box. And then you also get 5 more sets of hands. So you have these, kind of posed hands, open hands, gripping hands. And then you also have these really cool gloved hands. And I'm going to show you how to put those on. They do include this goalie glove assembly sheet here. So basically you can see how to put it on just by looking at this. Alright, so to put these on, the first thing you want to do is you do want to take the regular gloved hands off. So then you're just left with this. And then you're going to get this piece here, which kind of slips over top of his arm. And then you want to plug in the right hand. And then for this one, left arm, you're going to slide this over. You want to make sure you get this kind of bent part in the top. And then put this other gloved hand on. Alright, and then once you've put everything on, you have these really cool hockey pads on them. And I really do like these. Now, if you remember those kind of like limited series Casey Jones comics, like from back in the day, or even the 2K3 cartoon, and as well as the 2012 cartoon, he kind of started wearing like this hockey gear. So he'd have like the different pad on one arm and maybe a different glove on the other. You could really switch up your Casey Jones, you know, with the vest or no vest, or hockey pads, hockey mask, no hockey mask. So a lot of different display options here. It wouldn't be Casey Jones without his signature golf bag. And I think Mezco's done a really nice job with this. Sticking with what they do so well, this is an actual fabric golf bag, which you just don't see in this scale for a Casey Jones figure. And I like how all the straps look. They appear to be adjustable, but I'm probably not going to try much with that. The pockets don't seem to be functional, and I'm not going to try much with that either. Now, there's one downside about this, which is a really questionable move, because it is fabric. They stitched it up, so they basically cut slits in it, and then they stitched it up like the Scarecrow. So I like the idea that it's, you know, selling this idea of battle damage and whatnot, but I don't know how well this is going to hold up over the years. Put this on, you do want it to drape over his right shoulder, and I was going to take the head sculpt off for this, but I don't even think you need to. Yeah, so it fits really nicely over that right shoulder. So just like most Casey Jones action figures, you do get tons of accessories. Here's pretty much all of his sporting equipment in one shot. So you do get the broken bat, which I'm not going to put in the bag because it's just too short. And I did switch out the gloved like gripping hands, so you can see it does grip it very nicely. The hands are a bit of that softer material, so you can open them up, put the accessory in, and he grips it really nice. So I do like that. You do get his goalie stick, which looks very cool. Go ahead and put that in the bag. You also get his hockey stick, which is really nice. You get that like black wash along with those traditional grip tape on there. You do get his golf club, which looks really good. It's that like metal golf club. And again, they sit right in there. It's got like a black handle as well. And then you do get like a metal baseball bat, which is really cool. It's all banged up. You can see he's definitely used it. Black grip tape. Put that in there. You do get his traditional baseball bat, which looks really cool, like that. I'm a little disappointed you don't get two of the baseball bats. He like often has two wooden bats in his hands, so you only get that broken one, so I'm not sure about that one. Then of course you get the cricket bat, and there's really nice texture on here. I like the wood grain on this, definitely some scratches. And you can put this in just like this, and it does fit everything in that bag, so very cool. So I'm impressed with the amount of accessories. I like the broken bat, but I definitely would have rather had two full baseball bats. The weapons rack does not come with this figure. I just like to use it for my reviews. That's a NECA Foot Clan set that was included with. Another thing I wanted to say is the one accessory I really wish would have got that would have really put this over the top for me personally is a hockey mask for him to hold or to display on the bag when he's not like masked. So you don't get that included here, which is a bit disappointing. Now if you have the NECA ones, you can use one of those and you could just kind of like hang it from the bag, and I do think it looks pretty cool when you do that. And there's a couple different ones. That one in particular is based on Mirage, so I do think that would probably be the best. And then there's also a Last Ronin one that you can kind of hang off here. So if you want to have that hanging off the bag. And then Mezco themselves did make a hockey mask, and it was included with those like Skull Club Gang or whatever. I don't have those figures, but I did buy this hockey mask. It's not like the same exact mask that Casey has like in the Mirage comics, but if you just want one to hang off there, you could definitely do that. The Skull Gang mask is a little bit too big for Casey, unfortunately. Here he is holding the hockey stick, and you can see I have the padded gloved hand on his left. Here he is with the goalie stick. Here he is with a metal baseball bat, and I have him with the pointing finger. And here he is with both of the regular fingerless glove gripping hands and the two wooden baseball bats. Here he is with the cricket bat. You see I have him with that two-handed pose. With all the sporting equipment he's included with, it's really nice to see him get these signature poses that you really don't see with every Casey Jones figure. Last and sort of least, to be honest, is the golf club, which looks a little too short in my opinion, but it does look good anyway. It's just not very tall. Here he is with the vest back on, and I have the golf bag, of course. And you can see I'm using like the gesture hand on for his left. For the first comparison, here he is with the NECA Toys IDW Colors Mirage Casey Jones. Really cool seeing these two next to each other. They both offer a much different style, but they're definitely the same scale. For the next comparison, it's basically the same figure I showed you, but in the real Mirage colors. Now, this makes for a tougher comparison, because to me, this is the true Mirage Casey Jones. This is the way he originally appeared. I love the white Reebok shoes. I love the red shirt. So these two are essential to me, and they just, one's not better than the other. Now that said, I definitely like the Mezco unmasked head sculpt way better than that NECA version. Now I don't have the Mezco Ninja Turtles, but I do have the NECA Toys Eastman and Laird Turtles, and they look awesome with this Casey Jones. So I definitely think they're about the same size as the Mezco ones from the reviews I've watched. So yeah, I think they look really cool with each other. Here he is with one of the Eastman and Laird NECA Turtles, and then also one of the Jim Lawson Turtles. And I do think, like I said, the original ones pair better with this Mezco figure. The Jim Lawson ones are a little big. Here he is with a few more NECA Toys figures. So you have the Mirage Comics April O'Neil, and then you have the Shredder and one of the Foot Soldiers. And I do think these scale really well with this Mezco Casey. Here he is with the NECA Toys 1990 version of Casey Jones and Raphael, and you can see they're definitely much bigger than him. Here he is with the Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason Voorhees, and that does have a custom freak hockey mask on it. And then you have the Last Ronin version of Casey Jones, which is also NECA Toys. And you can see the Last Ronin stuff scales pretty well with it, but this regular 7-inch scale stuff does not go well with it. Here he is with the NECA Toys Rat King, also based on Mirage Comics, and I do think they scale really well together. For your first Mezco comparison, here he is with the Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason Voorhees and the John Wick from the John Wick movies. And just like I said a long time ago with this Jason Voorhees review that I did, he's just too short. And for one more Mezco comparison, here he is next to The Batman, which is played by Robert Pattinson, and then also the Vigilante Daredevil, which is in the Netflix series. And I do think they look really cool next to each other. Alright, and for the final comparison, here's the Mezco Casey Jones next to a ton of different Casey Jones figures, from NECA Toys to Funko to Mega Bloks to, of course, Playmates toys. And it's really cool to see all these different iterations of Casey Jones. Alright, so that's my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Casey Jones. And overall, man, I'm really impressed with this figure. I actually really love that they included the vest. That was a really nice touch. They didn't really have to do that. But the articulation and the head sculpts really put this one over for me. Especially love the clean mask head sculpt and that unmasked head sculpt. I just can't say enough about how good this unmasked head sculpt looks. My only real gripe about this figure is that it kind of puts you into that same category that NECA gets stuck in with the Mirage, is that they want these IDW colors, and I imagine that's kind of like the Nickelodeon way of doing things, where they do like the IDW stuff instead of the classic color. But them adding this vest was a really smart move, because it definitely puts it into that more like 1990 comic style, or like that AC Farley art that I was talking about, where it kind of puts it into a unique category. And for that, I definitely applaud them, because that was a really smart choice. The shoes themselves, they still kind of aren't my favorite. But yeah, I like that they included that vest. It kind of makes up for that IDW color scheme. I also really like that he scales well with that NECA Mirage stuff. So if you want to put characters like April O'Neil with him, or Raphael, you could definitely do that. And they look really good with him. I do wish they would have included a hockey mask, like to display with him, like I said, like to hang from his bag, or something that he could hold. So thanks for watching my review. Overall, I do think it's a very good figure. Unfortunately, it is a Mezco exclusive, which means it's sold out and hard to get by now, which is unfortunate, because it's an extremely good Casey Jones figure. I'm very happy with it. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you have a comment or question, leave that in the section below. And until next time, guys, see you.